I had the microphone turned off. So you all missed the Star Spangled Banner and the oops. Shoot. Where's it at?
Are you looking for your glove?
No, I lost a little foam bit that goes on the microphone.
Oh, here, I didn't see it.
Just like a little foam ball.
It's so windy, it could have really...
I know. Where?
No, it's a splotch of something.
Well,
Was it on this side, so you could have blown this way?
I mean the winds. Yeah, I guess it could have gone that way.
This way. Is it a half a thing, or like goes over the whole mic?
Just like fits, just a little circle.
Okay.
But I'm just gonna have to go without it. Maybe it fell into my coat somewhere. All right, everybody. Hopefully it doesn't get too windy. I lost a little foam bit that's supposed to protect against wind. All right. Sorry about that. Sophie on the draw.
Draw control line north of the ball for St. Mary's.
Shot goes high. St. Mary will retain the ball. So on defense, we have Ellie, Kaya, Mimi, and Kai. Now up top, being guarded by Julia. Sophie with the defense. Good crash there by Ellie, but score by St. Mary.
Goal by Nora LeBlanc, number 12.
Right. Sophie on the draw, Julia to the left, AD to the right. On offense, we have Micah and Ella. And I'm not sure. I haven't been able to quite make out the numbers of the others. Sophie with the draw, control.
Sophie Prince on the Wells draw control.
Back to 80. Ooh. Ball knocked free, but it foul there on St. Mary. So 80 will have the ball. 80 on the far side now. Back to Julia. Centers the ball. Over to Mia, I believe. Yep, Mia is in on offense. Oops. Sorry, Julia brings the ball over. Julia spins, shoots, saved by St. Mary's goalkeeper. This ball there, controlled by Micah. Micah got forced back behind the restraining line, which meant that it was sort of free game there. St. Mary on the counterattack after the turnover. Pass goes out of bounds. Kai will restart it. Kai over to Ellie. Ellie brings the ball up the field. Gets knocked back. That should be a foul. Now we'll have to pass it because Ellie cannot pass the restraining line. Sophie now with it. Over to, is that Alba? I think it's Alba. Now Micah with the ball. Yeah, Alba was that. Mia sort of running a weave up there. Alba with the ball now to Micah. Micah to AD on the far side. AD goes behind the goal. Looks around, has Alba on a cut, but she was guarded. Tries to pass it to Sophie, but the ball goes free. St. Mary's on the counterattack. I don't think Wells is in good position for defense here. Ellie tries to pick it up, and then Mimi. Shot goes wide. Good recovery there. Now St. Mary's ball. Well, there was a cut into the middle, but pass came late. Now Sophie has the ball. Ball's knocked free. Turnover to St. Mary. Good defense there by Ellie. Ooh, Ellie fell down, but back to St. Mary. Good D. Good crashing there by Wells. Ellie with defense now. Pick coming right. Switch there, 80. Shot goes into the left.
Goal by number 11, Maya Enstead.
2-1. Or 2-0, I should say. St. Mary's leads. Just under 8 minutes to go in the first quarter. Sophie on the draw, Julia to the left, AD to the right. No other changes out here. A low draw there. St. Mary's with the ball. Picked up by Kai. But
Draw, control, and goal by number 12, Nora LeBlanc for St. Mary's.
3-0, St. Mary's. Julia on the draw. Sophie to the left. AD to the right. Loose. Oh, ball just bounced behind the Wells players. St. Mary with the ball. And very quick score there.
Goal by number 14, Malin Durick on the assist from Maya Enstead.
4-0. Wells is taking a timeout. Better regroup. I'm going to take a moment, mute myself, and see if I can find where that foam cap for the microphone went to. All right. No luck, but it's all right. I've got some more of those at home. But I apologize if it's a little windier than normal because on the mic, because that is the whole purpose of that, is to filter out some of the wind. All right. Kaya, Ari, Kai, and Ellie on defense. I think I might have said Mimi earlier, but I think that was actually Ari on defense. Julia on the draw, Sophie to the left, AD to the right. Woo! That was a bullet there. Oh man, it hit 80's net and then bounced back out. Now, behind the goal. Oh, nobody's there. Oh, who's got her? Ball goes out of bounds. So I guess the sideline had her, or the inline. Ellie brings the ball up. Oh, Ellie dropped the ball there. Lots of people there. That'll be a foul on St. Mary. Ellie will get a restart here. Ellie tries to get it to Sophie, but stolen by St. Mary's. Wide open shot there. Wells' defense was out of position. 5-0. St. Mary's leads. All right, 80 on the draw. Julia to the left. Sophie to the right. Draw control again by St. Mary. Knocked free, though, by Micah. Now Julia with the ball. Knocked free by St. Mary, but Julia retains control. That's going to be a foul. So until one of the two teams has controlled the ball off the draw, all of the offensive and defensive players for each team have to stay behind the 30-yard line. That's the restraining line. So, but after that happens, it's wide open here. Long pass to Kai. Kai with the ball. Now over to, 80, but recovered by 80. Over to Julia. Julia now across the middle to Sophie. Sophie gets knocked down. No call. St. Mary on the counterattack. Kai in a foot race with the St. Mary player, picked up by Ellie. Ellie's going to get a foul there for pushing. You can't extend your arms when you're checking somebody. Like, I think you can keep them You just can't like push the person. So if your arms are already straight, that's okay. Or if they're bent, that's already straight. But I don't think you can like bend and then push. Oh, good job by 80 knocking that ball down. Got a stick on the other player's stick and knocked the ball free and then picked it up. Now Julia with the ball. Ooh, tries to get it up here to Ella, but out of bounds. Pass doesn't connect. It'll be St. Mary ball. We got a false start here on St. Mary's, so it'll be Wells ball. I don't know why they're not. They need to go out of bounds. Yeah. So out of bounds in lacrosse is kind of weird. Like you just start. You don't have to throw the ball in. But if you do stay out of bounds and then throw the ball in, then you are out of bounds and it's a turnover. It's like counter the way that we think about sort of an inbounds in basketball or in say soccer or something. St. Mary's with the ball, far side, being guarded there by, I think that was Kai actually. Ball's loose. Now Julia guarding. Now Sophie, good crash there by Ellie, coming back to guard that one. 80 on defense. I'm sorry, that was Ari. Now switch to 80. Still with the ball out top. Julia guarding the ball. Ellie on defense. Good save there by Claire.
Claire Moran on the save.
Ellie now with the ball. Ellie back to 80. 80 now. That should be a card. He just took an elbow to 80's head. So that will be a yellow card, 2-minute penalty for the St. Mary player. Wells will have an advantage both on offense and on defense. 80 will be able to start here. Yep. Now tries to pass it ahead to Sophie, but out of bounds. It will be a turnover in St. Mary's ball. Just minute 40 left in the first quarter. So Wells should have maybe 10 seconds of advantage in the second half before the St. Mary's player comes back in. Kai playing defense there. They have an advantage, so they're trying to get people to double because they've got two players. St. Mary is just trying to draw the clock out here until they get their player back until the quarter ends. Playing a little keep away. Ooh, almost intercepted. .24 seconds to go in the half. Or in the quarter, I should say. Loose ball. So, that's going to be a... So you cannot You cannot go cross the restraining line to get the ball. You can see that they were just waiting and hoping that the ball would cross over, but it did not. It'll be the end of the first quarter. 5-0 St. Maynard.
St. Mary's 5, WL 0.
All right, starting the second quarter here. St. Mary's leads 5-0. All right, on offense we have Alba, Maya, Micah, and Ella. On defense, we have Kaya, Ellie, Ari, and Mia. In goal, of course, Claire. Mid, we've got Julia, Sophie, and AD. Julia on the draw. AD to the left. Sophie to the right. Draw control by St. Mary. The team switch directions at the quarter. Ball guarded up top now. Looks like still a couple more seconds of advantage. Oh, the clock didn't start. You don't want to. All right, ball behind the goal. Being guarded by Ellie. Now out here, guarded by Ari. Up top. Loose ball. Still loose. Bit of a scrum there. I think 80. No, 80 had it for a moment, but she doesn't have it anymore. Still on the ground. Still loose. Controlled by St. Mary. Had a cutter to the middle, but St. Mary didn't get him. There's a foul on Julia away from the ball. So they'll get to restart the ball here at the 12 meter. Interesting. They have Sophie behind, so maybe it was actually on Sophie. So, but 12 meter doesn't give the player quite the same advantage as the 8 meter. She can position players in front of the goal on the 12 meters. Oh, great play there by Ari, anticipating that pass. It'll be Wells' ball there. Ari just stepped in front of that pass and knocked it down. Ari now with the ball. Oh, come on. That is definitely a foul. Ellie with the ball. Little loft up to Julia. Julia with the ball on the far side. Julia to Sophie. Now back to Julia. Sophie sets a pick, but Julia doesn't take it. Wow. Surprised there wasn't a call there. Yeah. Well, they didn't get the first one, but they got the second one. So Julia restart on the 12 meter. Julia shoots. Save. Good save by the St. Mary keeper. St. Mary on the attack. And scores. 6-0 St. Mary. 8 minutes to go in the half. All right. 80 on the draw. Julia to the right. Sophie to the left. Oh, wow. Looked like it was going to be a collision of bodies, but it was just a collision of sticks, thankfully. All right. Player across the middle spins, tries to shoot, goes wide right. Still in bounds. Or maybe it was out of bounds, actually. So Ari gets the ball. Ari's bringing it down this near side. Now ahead to Ella. Oh, has got 2 on her. To head to Micah. A foul there on St. Mary. Michael restart. Loose ball. Controlled by Mia. Have another push there. Back to Ellie. AD with the ball. To Ella. Now back to Julia. Up top. Julia on the far side. Pick for Sophie. Now 80 with the pick. Oh, pass missed. St. Mary on the counterattack. Guarded by Ari. Now Ellie. Shot goes over the goal. I think it's going to be Wells' ball. I think Kai was closest to that one. Kyle restart. Over to Ari. Ari with the ball. Sophie. Head to Julia. Julia to Maya. Maya tries to get it. Does get it to Alba. Alba to Julia. Julia over to Micah on the far side. Micah sort of brings it center again. Micah cuts in, but then is cut off. A little pick by 80 and a roll, but Micah still has the ball, takes it behind the goal. Micah still has the ball now to Julia behind the goal. Julia comes to this far side, spins back, cut off, goes to the middle to Sophie. Ball's loose, controlled by Micah. Now to Sophie behind the goal. Sophie over to Micah. The far side. Had a good cut there by AD, but didn't get the pass. Now back to Julia up top. About 3.5 minutes to go in the half. Julia behind the goal. Now to 80 behind the goal. 80 pops up, spins. Oh, has one of the St. Mary players gets a stick on the stick as 80 shoots and knocks the shot, so it goes up high over the goal and out of bounds. Controlled by St. Mary. St. Mary's keeper has the ball. 3 minutes to go in the second half. St. Mary on the fast break. All the way in, shoots and scores.
That's St. Mary's goal.
At some point during that offensive possession, Kai came in for Mia on defense. Wait, maybe for Ari, I'm sorry. So Mia is still in there. So it's Kai, Mia, Ellie, and Kaya on defense. Offense, we have Ella, Alba, Maya, and Micah. In mid, Julia, AD, and Sophie. Julia on the draw. AD to the left, Sophie to the right. Draw control by St. Mary. So St. Mary had a good opportunity there, unfortunately, in the middle. Oh, a little breakdown on matchups here. That's going to be a foul on Sophie. Little slash. Have a free shooting position on the... Oh, they're actually saying 12 meter? All right. Even better. Don't mind that at all. Gives the Wells defense a little time to regroup. A little pick there. St. Mary, there's going to...
Long save by Claire.
Good save by Claire. I think there might have been shooting space on that, but the player got the shot off, and so the ref put the flag back in their pocket. Julia brings the ball up. Minute to go in the half. I really hope that the players are aware of clock. That was a problem on Wednesday. They just were not aware of how much time was left at the end of these quarters. Got a foul on St. Mary. Julia restarts. .35 seconds. Julia tests the defense. Over the top to Sophie. Sophie shoots. Shot goes wide. Controlled by St. Mary. Loose ball. Eight seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that'll do it. At the half, St. Mary leads 7-0.
St. Mary's lose 7, draw 0.
Oh, music starting. I'm going to mute. All right, we're about to start the second half. St. Mary leads 7-0. On offense, we have Maya, Poppy, Micah, and Alba, I believe. Cannot quite see the jersey number, but pretty sure that's Alba. On defense, we have Kaya, Mia, Ari, and AD. In mid, Julia, and Sophie, and Ellie. Sophie on the draw. Julia to the left. Ellie to the right. All's up. Draw control by St. Mary.
St. Mary's goal by Nora LeBlanc, number 12. On the assist from Celine Curran.
8-0. Sophie on the... No, is it Sophie? Yeah, it's Sophie on the draw. St. Mary with the ball behind the goal. Guarded by Ari. And they score. Julia on the draw. Sophie to the left. Ellie to the right. We're going to have a redraw here. The intricacies of when it's a redraw versus a misdraw that causes one team to get the ball versus the other is something that I have yet to figure out. Oh man, Julia had it off the draw for a moment, but immediately gets her stick knocked by two St. Mary players. Loose ball there. Recovered by St. Mary. Oh. Well, they had St. Mary actually had a really nice play going there, but the pass did not connect, which is good for Wells. But St. Mary gets the ball back. Now being guarded by Kaya. Over the top. Pass goes long. That should be Wells' ball. That is not a shot. Yes, that is Wells' ball. So unless it's a shot, whoever threw it out of bounds, it is their ball. Or they lose the ball, I should say. So Ari now with the ball. Brings it up behind the goal. Ari now to Ellie behind the goal. Switches fields a bit. Ellie has a couple on her. Now to AD. Foul on St. Mary's. AD with the ball. Tries to get it to Ellie, but it goes out of bounds. It will be St. Mary ball. Knocked free by AD. (10-0) St. Mary's. That means that the clock will run. Once there's a 10-point margin, there's a running clock. Julia on the draw. Sophie to the right. Oh, jeez. A timeout by Wells. Mhm.
If I can get the foot.
All right. Let's start back up here. On defense, we have Kaya, Mia, Ari, and AD. In mid, we have Julia, Ellie, and Sophie. Offense, Poppy, I think it's Micah, Alba, and Maya. Julia on the draw. Sophie to the left. Ellie to the right. St. Mary again with the draw. Control. In immediately. Off the post.
Saved by number 50, Claire Moran.
D by Ari. Julia on defense. Oh, good steal by Ellie. Ellie to Julia. Julia gets cut off there. Oh, the microphone is not on my microphone. The stadium microphone is acting up. Kai is in on defense. Ellie with free shooting position. Tough angle. Got to make a pass there to Sophie. Sophie tries to shot. Oh, ball is still free, controlled by St. Mary. Back to the keep there. St. Mary's on the fast break here. Stolen away by 80. Foul, but 80 self-starts over to Micah. Micah now with the ball. Wells has numbers. Oh, but knocked down by St. Mary. Recovered by Maya. Now by Micah. Micah over to Julia. Julia with the ball on the far side. Now circles around behind the goal. Poppy switches sides. Julia comes up top. Julia spins back to the left, shoots over the goal, high. That will be Wells' ball. Ellie was closest to that. Ellie restarts. Ellie over to Julia behind the goal. Julia to Sophie. Sophie. That's going to be a head. I'm not sure what they call it when it's like close to your head, but that was what it was. Ellie with the ball. Now Julia. I want to call it a headspace, but it seems like headspace has other connotations, so I bet they've got a different name for it. Julia spins. Oh, there's double team there. It's got 3 on her. Julia to Ellie, but pass wasn't where it needed to be, and St. Mary gets the ball. Kaya with some defense. Now Kai with some D. Over the top. Good D. Great save by Claire. Good D by 80 and Kai. And a foul on St. Mary there on Ari. I wonder if it was Ari and Kai instead of 80 and Kai. They both have white helmets. 2 sisters. Sometimes it's easy to get them confused. Ball knocked free.
St. Mary's goal by number 12, Nora LeBlanc.
12-0. St. Mary's leads. .45 seconds left in the third quarter. All right. Got Julia on the draw. Sophie to the left. Ellie to the right. And that is the end of the third quarter. St. Mary's leads 12-0. There's a confab going on over here between the coaches and the refs. I don't know if it's. I can't quite tell if that's actually coach from both coaches from St. Mary or if there's a Wells coach in the mix. So we'll find out here in a moment, depending on which bench they go back to. There was a little demonstration prior to this. They were both with St. Mary. Okay, on offense, we have Poppy and Micah, Ella, Poppy and Ella, and Micah. That's only 3. Actually, it's 2 right now. Micah's on the circle. We've only got 2 on offense. On defense, we have Kai, 80, Mia, Ellie, and 2, 4, 5. Gonna mute for just a second. Free shooting position on the 8 meter. All right. They pulled it back. I think Wells is missing a player again. Loose ball. Grabbed by Claire behind the goal. Be taken by the shooting space violation. A card. All right, I think they've finally got the correct numbers. Unfortunately, there was a yellow card, so bummer. 13-0. Happened, I think, twice I guess once in the JV game that there weren't enough Wells players on the field. And now it's happened in the varsity game. Julia on the draw. Sophie to the left. Micah to the right. Ari is the player who got the yellow card and is on the bench. So this means because of the penalty that only 2 of the mids can come in. St. Mary should have a player advantage for the 2 minutes. Good D there by AD. Now, St. Mary with the ball up top. Guarded by Sophie. Ball goes out of bounds. That should be Wells' ball. 2 minutes are up. Ari is back on the field. Pass up to Ari from Kai. Ooh. Ari got knocked down. Ari is hurt. Stepping out, Kaya is coming in. Doesn't look like she's seriously hurt, but I think just needs a moment to compose herself. Kaya with the ball. Kaya loses the ball. Got knocked out of her stick. Scrum. St. Mary comes up with the ball. Now guarded by 80. Ball comes over. Very quick shot. 7 minutes to go in the game. AD on the draw. Sophie to the right. Julia to the left. On defense, we have Kai, Ellie. Oh, Julia controls the draw. Julia back to Ellie. Ellie with the ball. I am sorry. I totally lost the ball. 80 had the ball. Free shooting space on this near side for AD. Or free shot, 8 meter. 80 goes in, shoots, and scores. Wells finally got one. 14-1. They just needed to prove that there wasn't a cap on the basket, so to speak. So 5.5 minutes to go in the game. 80 with the goal. 80 on the draw. Sophie to the right, Julia to the left. That will be a redraw. So I want you all to know that every time there's a draw and the ref runs backwards, I am hoping beyond hope that the ref falls. It's only happened once, but it is my eternal wish. Not that they're injured, just a little pratfall. Julia with the ball here on the fast break, getting bumped a fair amount, but now pulls it back out to Sophie. Sophie has the ball, goes behind the goal. Now over to AD. Poppy with a cut, but well marked. Over to Ella. Ella now to Micah. Ball is loose for a moment, but recovered by Ellie. Now back to 80. 80 Sophie comes to set a pick, but doesn't connect on the pick, so 80's still well guarded. Oh, ball is knocked free. Controlled by St. Mary. St. Mary on the counter attack. Guarded there by Mia, and then also by Kai. Ball goes long. Tries to save it in. Ellie has the ball. Now to Kai. Oh, Kai gets knocked down. St. Mary sets up their offense. Guarded by AD. Back up top, guarded by Julia. Behind the goal, knocked down there by Sophie. Will be, I believe, ball was near, or the stick was near Sophie's head. Now over to Ellie. Ellie will bring it up. Oh, he's got a double team now to Sophie. Sophie coming up that far side. Oh, stolen away. Knocked down by Micah, but Micah had to stop because of the restraining line. Now into the middle, guarded by Kai. A foul on Kai. Free shooting position. Free shot here for St. Mary on the 8-meter. Good job. Oh, gonna have another shooting position here. Saying the Wells player was near their head. St. Mary scores again. 15-1. Minute and a half to go in the game. Mia is coming out and being replaced by Ari. Minute to go in the game. AD on the draw. St. Mary's controls the draw. Good save. Good D by Kai, getting a stick on the shot, and then Claire to save it. The foul. Ari gets the ball. Passes it up to Ellie, who loses the ball. And that is the end of the game. St. Mary wins 15-1.
St. Mary wins 15. IB Wells won.
All right, I'll let the Reese. Somebody's birthday. All right, I'm going to mute and start packing things up, but I will see you next week. Go Guardians.